Howdy everybody, it's Amy from Amy's Sparkly Diamond Painting. It's Sunday evening, it's the end of my weekend, and I thought I'd just do kind of a casual unboxing, catching up, that sort of thing this evening, and just kind of check in with y'all and say hi and see how everybody's doing. I didn't get a whole lot done this weekend, diamond painting wise. I spent a lot of Saturday trying to work on craft project type stuff that was kind of diamond painting adjacent, and I'm going to record a different ending to that video so I can get it up, because the first part was a whip parade, or not a whip parade, a completion parade of some of my PR package stuff that I had been working on feverishly to finish and get out of the way so that I could work on other projects. And I just had a heck of a time trying to do that on camera. So I am going to show that one here coming up, but I have to record a slightly different ending for it. It'll come eventually. But I have an unboxing here. This is a PR package item from Artdot, but I also thought I'd throw in a couple other unboxings and things to make this video interesting, because I know not everybody wants to see videos just about accessories, but I'm really excited about this one and I want to check it out. So I need to use it this evening, so we're gonna unbox this and talk about it a little bit. I've also got just a couple diamond paintings here, and then a couple of cross stitch that I can show at the end. But what I have right now in front of me, I'll get this out of the way here in a minute. This is what I was doing this weekend diamond painting wise, and that's I finally got going on one of my Van Gogh paintings here with the 4 sunflowers. And this one is a lot of fun because it's not a whole lot of colors, but it is very confetti heavy. So I was really enjoying this. I will probably continue on here after I get this video done. I've got this turned sideways just because it's easier to work that way because of my ring light that's attached to my desk here. This is the small area that I worked on. It's about the size of my hand here. This one has 44 colors. I've done an unboxing for it before, but just about every color was in this first section here that I did. So I was doing an unusual thing. I was kitting up as I went in the container. So that's all the colors there, if you can see that without the glare, that was in just this little section. So definitely a fun confetti heavy project that I've really been enjoying. So good drills, nice tight fit on those drills. Nice soft canvas. It's been a lot of fun so far. So we'll get that out of the way so I can show you what we've got here. I have 2 canvases here because I did kind of a mixture of a cross stitch and diamond painting order from a budget-friendly company. I believe this all came from Fan Cells. I'll have to double check, but I think it was Fan Cells. And usually when I buy some cross stitches, I will go ahead and throw a couple diamond paintings in so that I have something to always show on my channel. So again, these are budget-friendly ones. But first, I wanted to talk about this from Artdot. So Artdot has given me the opportunity to test out and showcase a different item for you. Artdot is known mostly for accessories. They do have a few diamond paintings, but they do mostly accessories, and I've been a fan of Artdot all along, as you've seen on my channel, especially early on when I talked about cross-stitch conversions and spare drills and everything. I have several of the full DMC color boxes of Artdot square and round drills that I use as backup for when I run out of things. But Artdot was gracious enough to give this to me, and I do have a discount code, and I will put a link in the comments to this item. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so there will be a few dollars that I make over time for anything purchased through that link. And this again is from Artdot, and this is a lens, detachable magnifying glass lens thing that helps those of us who have a hard time seeing. So it does have a headband on there, magnifier. I do have another company's glasses kind of like this that I paid too much for. I paid twice what this is. I think this runs about $15 on Amazon. I bought one at a craft store, and after 3 times it quit working because the light wouldn't stay up and it was very uncomfortable. Huge headpiece on it, so I'm hoping that this will be very useful and very fun to get me able to do stuff at night. So what we have here, we have 5 different magnifying glass lenses that you can use based on how much help you need in seeing. We have a storage case, the eyeglass frame, adjustable headband, cleaning cloth, nose pads, which is nice, USB charging cable, and instruction manual. So you don't need to replace batteries on this one. You just need to charge it. So I'm not real familiar with this. This is some sort of energy rating system here. 1 kilowatt hour per 1,000 hours. I'm not sure much information about that. So let's take off the plastic here and see what we have. Now, Artdot sells internationally, so it could be that some of this information on the box is necessary to sell in some countries. So let's see what we got here. Nice compact box. We have instructions. We have the box full of lenses here. Very shiny. And we have, that is a much smaller headpiece, looks like much more comfortable with the LED light, looks like. And we have the charging cable. There is the cleaning cloth, which is always good. And then these look like they snap on. Yes, they do snap on. These are to hold the glasses in place. Oops. So I guess that's how they get them in a compact box, and then the nose pads in there. So all fits quite nicely in there. So there is minor assembly required here. So these are all the items that we have. And let's see here. I have not done this myself, so bear with me for a minute while I look here. It actually looks pretty straightforward here, so we'll give this a try and see if we can figure it out. So the one thing that I was most confused about was how to get these in, but there's a snap on there, like it clips into place. So let's see if we can figure out how to do that. That one, this part we may need instructions for. So that is called the bracket foot. And bear with me for just a minute here as I figure out how to attach. We'll figure it out here. It can't be that difficult. So it looks like they would curve this way, and there's like a little ridge here and some sort of button release there. So it seems like it should just snap in, but it doesn't. Okay, I'm a little puzzled about where exactly this part goes. Maybe on the back here? No. Maybe on the strap part. Well, actually, though, it looks like you don't need them if you have the strap, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I'm missing here, is that you can choose one or the other. So let's see here. So if I push this, that's what's going on here. Okay, I knew if I figured out eventually, if I looked at it closely. You can snap this part off and use these instead if you'd like. Now, it's being a little tricky. There we go. This one pushed in really easily here, so you can push this button in, I believe, and pull these out like that. And then you can attach like that one of these instead, which I may actually prefer that, but if you're looking down, of course, then you might want this. So there we go. Okay, I figured we'd get it figured out eventually. except I think I got them backwards. Watch me struggle here as we figure this out. So I got them backwards so that they'd be upside down. So it points this way with the button up. So you want the ear pieces pointed down this way. Okay, we'll try it this way first because I think I'd prefer the earpieces, and then if you don't like the earpieces and you're looking down all the time, then you might want the strap. So that's cool that you have a choice there. Okay, that looks better. And now here's the USB charging cable. We'll take a look at this. Not real long, looks kind of short. Here, it looks like micro USB. Or is that USB-C? I guess I should look on the box. It just says USB charging cable, yeah. So not USB-C. And I'm guessing the charging would take place somewhere around the light, which is adjustable. That's cool. And it feels like it'll stay. The one I have with the light is much bigger with a battery pack because it has to fit like 3 AA batteries on it, and it keeps falling. But this looks like it snaps in place for different angles. And this moves as well. Very nice. And you can hear it there clicking. So it definitely has different settings there. We also have a soft area here. So this is nice and soft, kind of rubbery. So that is the part that goes against your head. And here is the, it's charged. So there's the switch. And it shows you, this is the charging. Those are battery symbols there. So it shows that it is fully charged. I don't want to blind you guys with the light, but let's put this downward and see. Yep, definitely a good little light there. And then this is our box that holds all the different magnifications. And usually I need a 3 or bigger. So we'll try this. There is a spot here, looks like, to attach. Yes, that was quick and easy. There we go. And I'm going to take off. These are my regular cheaters. I like lightweight ones. So we're going to check this out. Oh, yes. My hubby offered actually to be a model for me because he knows I don't always like to be on camera. So I might get him to model so I can take a picture for you guys. But I'm gonna, oh wow, yes. I can see. I can read all the fine print on this. Yes, these are very nice. I might just wear these to work tomorrow. Okay, I'm happy with how well they work. Yes, I can certainly see much better. I can picture myself diamond painting and doing a whip and chat with these. The lenses are really clear, and because they go close to your eye, I guess I should turn off that light so I don't blind you, but because they go close to your eye, they work much better than a magnifying glass, which is at more of a distance. The nose piece here is very comfortable, but this is where you could put the pads on if you want a little more softness to them. But ooh, I do like these. I think these will be very useful. Now these may look a little bit small on the viewing area size here, but because they're so close to your eyes, and they are adjustable here, they don't have to be that big, so you can lift it up and down. So if somebody's talking to you or you have to look at the TV or something at a distance for a while, you can just lift them up. Everything on this is really adjustable. That's pretty cool. And I like the charging capability here, so you don't have to have batteries all the time, and it's definitely not as heavy with the USB charging instead of batteries. So very, very nice. So I'm going to try these out this evening, and I'll give you a follow-up on whether I find them actually comfortable, but they feel comfortable. And with the different levels of magnification here. I think I can play around with that and see what works best. Here you can kind of tell based on the thickness, which are the more, the greater magnifications and which are the lesser magnifications. So there's probably something written. I guess I should look and see. Yes, it looks like there is a number. So this is 3.5 times, and this one is a 2.5 times. So there is indeed a little number up here that you can read. That is 2 times magnification. This one is 1.5, and this one is 1. So we got 1x, 1.5, and there is also a label at the bottom there so you know where to put them away. And they each just slide into their own little slot. And then let's get them all neat in there. And then the lid closes to keep them safe. And this whole thing, with all the different choices there, the USB, all that, was only $15. So I will put the link down below. If you are having eyesight troubles, let's see if these will fit in there, and it looks like they will. Everything is contained in such a small space, which is nice, and that may be why this cord is so small as well. I bet I can even close that in there, although I don't want to get my different lenses dirty. I don't want to break it there, but I bet I can get that to close in there as well. Well, maybe not. It was probably a bit too much to fit in there. So there we go. Very portable, very compact, very easy to pack. I'm liking this, and I'll test it out. I'll test it out both ways and give you an update on what I think here in a few days. But thank you to Artdot for providing this for me, because this is definitely something for me that is very useful, because my eyesight changes so much day to day depending on whether I'm having a flare or not, as they call it, with uveitis, which is the eye issues that I run into. So some days are better than others. So it's hard to keep like a regular prescription or regular cheater glasses level, because it changes so much. Okay, I got a couple of canvases here, and these are kind of a same theme. That's why you see all that green. But we'll take a look here. I do like my bigger canvases, but this first one, these are kind of close-up jungle type themes. So I guess I was into green when I was buying all these. There's only a couple here. So we have a snail on a mushroom with some ferns and some woods in the background. Ooh, that looks like a good spot to put some ABs. So we got drills. We have the pack there, and 35 colors. So let's still start by looking at our toolkit here. And this looks kind of like the slightly improved one that you get with GBFKE and some of the bigger canvases. Got it looks like actually a 10 placer there, and these are the good thin plastic. That looks like maybe a 4 placer. The squishy's already on there, so you don't have to fight with it. We got some basic tweezers, nothing too fancy there. And the wax actually looks like a different color. Interesting. This is kind of a darker red instead of see-through red. Interesting. I might have to test this out. I've never seen that color before. I got a lot of pink wax, but that's kind of a salmon color there. And then basic little tray. This one's pretty small. If you're new to diamond painting, this might work for a little while, but really you want to upgrade to a bigger tray, because it will make the multi-placing much easier when you can shake down a whole big row of drills. So, very nice toolkit. Then we have a big bag of square drills here. So this is a square. And let's see. Let's look at the canvas first here. Symbols are random. Move this. It's very glary today because it is dark. It is after 9 o'clock. So we don't have any sunlight or anything cool like that. But this legend does look a little bit small. I'll be using those Artdot glasses to be able to read some of these. But we have the letter B, L, F, so some numbers, some uppercase letters, and some other random symbols, but they're not in order. But that's not a bad thing for me. I don't care about whether the key is in order. What I care about is what colors are next to each other, and can you tell them apart on the canvas. And indeed, it looks like I can. Hopefully you can as well, but again, that glare is pretty bad. So let me do this. It's still pretty tiny because of all the glue on there, but hopefully you can see that drill field okay. And this is, like I said, a square. Size is 40 by 40, and it looks like a true 40 by 40. And I did find my first tape measure finally. The dog had chewed it up. It was under the couch. When I finally found it, I thought my kiddo had taken it. So 39.5, almost a 40. But there is a couple of wrinkles here. So, and this is, yeah, 39.5. So very close to 40 by 40. And as far as the condition of the canvas, it's got a couple wrinkles there, but it's kind of the scratchy material, not the soft material. But it feels like it'll relax pretty easily, actually. And I think, oop, that looks awful. And I think I can iron it, but mostly it's going to involve just working with the cover paper. But I'll do that later. But the colors look really nice and bright here, so we'll take a quick peek at the colors. I know some of you say you really like longer videos, and I really haven't done much in the way of longer videos lately, so we'll take our time here a little bit. So we have each bag shows the number, the DMC number, and how many drills of that color. So that helps if you run out, you can tell how many you're supposed to have at least. 2015, I remember that year. So we have some blues, greens, off-white. This will look pretty striking against that background. But I'm curious, this looks like the background color. It is 310. And just because I'm not sure who the manufacturer was on this one, let's grab a tray here. Let's take a quick look at these drills. So we'll see if we can shake them down, or spill them. I shook it too hard there and spilled them at the end. So yeah, the drills are acrylic. They're a little bit lightweight, but I'm not seeing trash for the black. It looks like they do line up nicely. So pretty good sparkle to them. So those are the drills. That looks very promising. I'm gonna have to do some green here. I wish there were 40 hours in the day. There's so much I wish I had time to do. 939 is the other dark color there. Ooh, this is pretty. I always love the sea colors, those turquoise, blue, green. So lots of cool colors in this one. So that is our snail. Snail on the mushroom. It's kind of cute. Okay. Give me just a second. I don't want to lose any parts to that. Now this one is a little bit bigger, but it also looks like it's got something rolled up here. This is a little bit different, and it made me laugh when I saw it. And I had, boy, that's noisy. I had put it in my cart, taken it out, placed a couple of orders where I had removed it after putting it in. Finally decided to just go ahead and get it. But you'll see why here in a minute. why it's not my usual thing here. But it just makes me laugh. So we have a big old chameleon here with the butterfly on his nose, and he looks so surprised, like he's trying to figure out how to eat that poor butterfly, maybe. Or just shocked that it landed on his nose. I think the part that kind of turned me off was all the dark, kind of boring background on this. He is the focus there, but lots of rainbow colors, the cute little, can you see that in the glare? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this again, maybe. Cute little curly tail there. But definitely rainbow colors. It's printed sideways, so even though he's face up this way, all the symbols are this way, which I usually work them sideways anyway when they're bigger canvases, because it's just easier on the table. So the symbols go this direction. So let me put it where you can see the symbols there. This one has 40 colors, so should be plenty of color there. I'm gonna cover this up before it tries to go back on itself. If you're new to diamond painting, you will probably figure out on your own, if you don't know already, that on the budget-friendly companies, this cover sheet is not double-sided. I mean, it's got a front and back, obviously, but only one side will peel away from a diamond painting. The other side will stick to your painting. So you want to make sure that you know which way is up. And a lot of people put a sticker on the top, or some way to designate that this is the top side so you don't flip it accidentally and put it on the painting. But if you're not careful, you can also lift one up and have it fold down on you when you're not looking, and you get part of the sheet stuck to it. You can pull it off. It just takes a little work, bit of elbow grease to be able to get it off. So just like the other one, a lot of random order for that glare again. Random order for the symbols, upper and lowercase letters, numbers, the usual there. There's a little thumbnail, the picture, if that helps. I just thought he was so funny. Plus all the colors on this. This looks like an easy diamond paint. So when I'm tired of the confetti from my J-walls or my Van Goghs that I'm working on there, I can fall back on something like this, because this looks like a lot of multi-placing, a lot of color blocking. I had somebody ask me the other day, because I do have a lot of newer subscribers, what I meant by that. So I know a lot of you have been doing this for a while, but just for the newbies out there, confetti would be an area with spots of all different colors with lots of color changes. And color blocking is large areas of the same color, like what we see up here, and those go quickly. They don't take much thought. You can use a multi-placer to place anywhere from 2 to 10 diamonds at a time if you're comfortable using multi-placing. And that's where the spacing of the grid comes to play when you do multi-placing, because if you have a gappy canvas that has a little more spacing between the drills, then multi-placing is hard because the spacing gets off when you're trying to place 10 at a time when you stack them up. But if you have a nice tight grid, then multi-placing is much easier and everything will line up much better. So that's why we talk about whether they're gappy or not, because gappier canvases can mean that it's harder for you to multi-place. But I don't do as much multi-placing, but in something like this I definitely would, especially for the background. So we'll see how the spacing works on this one. Toolkit was the same as the other one, looks like, so I don't need to show you that. But here are the drills, and this is a square, and we have some ABs in there. Couldn't remember if this was an AB canvas or not, and it is. So I'm curious what colors we have for the ABs here. So we have a light gray there. I prefer lighter colored ABs for these paintings, because the dark ones, if you've been on my channel and you've seen some of the AB PR packages, if they have dark AB drills, then you end up with ABs in the shadows. Budget companies usually swap out an entire color for ABs rather than highlights in certain areas. So you end up sometimes with highlights and shadows where you don't want them. But here's the next AB. This is a red color. AB 666. 666 is a very popular bright red color. I know it has other connotations, but that's really not what's going on here. It's just the color chosen by DMC, which is the same coloring system that our diamonds use, is the DMC coding system, which DMC is embroidery thread. So the colors match to the embroidery thread colors. So that's where some of these colors and numbers come from. They go back many, many, many years. But I'm kind of curious to find out where that red is. Is it going to be maybe in his mouth? That'll be interesting to see. And of course the butterfly in his head is going to have some of this really pretty maroon. There's 3371, which, yeah, I guess it is. This 3371 actually looks a little purple. 3371 is a brown. I might take a closer look at that. It's a very, very dark brown typically. Looking for more ABs in here. Maybe it's just my eyes or the lighting here, because this 3031 brown also has that slight purplish tint to it. And we've got some greens. Some more background colors here. 934. That must be that background. It's almost a greenish, brownish hue instead of a black. 3750. And oh, there's definitely 310. There's a big bag of the 310. 310, of course, is black. And we already looked at the black drills on the other one, so hopefully those will be okay. Here's another AB. It's a different red. This is 817. So we've got two reds there, and then another gray. 3042 is kind of a light purplish gray. Be interesting to see where that goes. That may be it here. We got two reds, two grays for the ABs. And yeah, that looks like it. Okay. Oh, three grays, two reds. Interesting choice, but it means that we're not highlighting dark shadows or anything like that. It looks like possibly the eyes in there maybe. So 168 is, yes, in the eye. So we are indeed, this is a good choice, I think, for AB drills. You don't see good choices as often on the budget friendlies, but these look good because we're highlighting the eyes and the mouth. Looks like on him. I might add some bling to that little butterfly as well, just to make him stand out. But he's pretty cute. He'll be a lot of fun and kind of a mindless diamond paint there, but still bright colors. So it should be fun for a day when you just need a break. And the canvas, I should point out, is the same material, that same kind of scratchy back stuff, which does melt if you get it too hot. So you don't want to iron them on a higher heat setting. You want to keep your iron setting very low if you want to try to quick flatten. But I know I'm not doing this one for a while, so I will probably put that under something heavy and it'll be just fine. So let's see, we've been going 34 minutes. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit of cross stitch. I do this at the end because I know that my channel is diamond painting and I don't have as many cross stitchers out there, but I do have some. So I will save the cross stitch unboxing stuff to the end of the video. But what we have here, and by the way, before you go, I will have the Artdot links in my description below, and I do have a discount code. I'll put it there as well. So check out the Artdot website or Amazon to pick up these items. And they do ship quickly because they're working through Amazon mostly, I believe just about all. Now they may, I haven't checked their website lately, but you can get everything in a day or two very quickly in the US and probably elsewhere as well from your Amazon site. So first off, I have one of the budget-friendly cross-stitch kits here, and when I say budget-friendly, it's because they come in these packages without a name brand or anything, as opposed to, say, the Spring or Joy Sunday, which are a little bit more of the premium kits, which have all the branding and all the good stuff. So I don't order these that often. I try to stay away mostly from these budget ones unless it's a picture that I really want, because they have fewer colors, but it seems like they've been improving that lately. So I have seen some unboxings that other people have shown where these are 40 or 50 colors. So we'll cross our fingers on this one, although really I picked this one as a budget one because I don't think it matters if it has 40 or 50 or 30 colors. It's a pretty simplistic design there. It's kind of a reproduction, it looks like, of an older tapestry. So we got the florals here and the deer, and I just really liked the picture. So let's take a look at what we got. Now these you do have to get a project bag for because they don't come in a resealable bag, but we have photo paper, so it's printed all nice and shiny. We have the pattern here. We have instructions, the canvas, we have our toolkit, kind of stuck to the yarn, and good news, a lot of times with these budget ones you get what are called floss drops, where you have each color on a separate little tag that you have to deal with. I prefer having this kind with the card with all the colors on it, so this is good news. And it does look like it's not got a whole lot of colors here. It looks like 28 different colors are showing up on this floss card. And then we have extras here of a couple of colors that there is a lot of. And these are numbered here. So that's color number 6 and color number 28 that we need extra of. Actually, it looks like color number 9 because there's the red. So that's a 9, not a 6, because 6 is an orange. So the floss feels really soft. It's usually cut into 1 meter lengths. So really, really soft feeling. And a lot of bright colors on this one. But I didn't expect a whole lot of colors for this particular one, which is why I was willing to go for the cheaper brand here, because it is a pretty simple stitch here. We're looking at a pretty simple tapestry. So a lot of times with these budget ones, you get your toolkit, plus you also get a needle or two in the canvas. So be sure you watch for that. I usually take the one out of the canvas and put it with the rest. But a lot of these will have a needle or two in the canvas as well as in your package. So in the toolkit, if you're curious, let's see what we have here. This is a big package here. Okay, don't want to lose those needles. That's interesting. The needles are all just kind of falling out here. Normally, the reason you have this little poof is because the needles are in it. But let's see, this is a lot of needles, but they weren't in the poof. So there's 2. Maybe the poof is too soft and they fell out. 3, 4. Looks like 6 needles. That's quite a few. 5, 6. So that's just a pretty easy way to corral all those needles. This is a thimble. I've never found them to be very useful, but there we go. We have a pinky ring, and this is adjustable. It'll stretch open if you want it to. So we'll just keep wearing that. And then this is a needle threader, and it's got 2 different sizes of hooks based on what size needle you're threading. But this is really easy if you've ever used one. You stick the hook through the opening in the needle there. You can tell I need my Artdot magnifiers there. So you put it in, put the thread on there, and pull it through, and you have your needle threaded. I have a fancy needle threader. I had to splurge and get a little bit better one, but if you don't have it, you got everything you need there with the kit. And then we have our pattern here, and it looks like with this one, the colors on the pattern and symbols match exactly the colors in the pattern on the canvas, which makes it easier, because if you put this in a hoop or a frame, you can't always see your legend here on the fabric. That happens to me a lot. So especially with the bigger canvases, it's hard to get to your legend sometimes. So having the pattern have the exact matching symbols makes life a whole lot easier. But this looks very straightforward here. Looks like an easy stitch. Like I said, 28 colors. We already looked at the colors. But the way these canvases work, if you're new to stamped cross stitch, this is 11 count, which is the bigger squares, which means that I need 3 strands to make an X on this, as opposed to 14 count, which is smaller squares, which you only use 2 strands. And 11 count is pretty close to diamond painting size. That's why you can kind of see the big size here. So diamond painting is probably about 10 squares per inch, kind of close to that for a square canvas. So 11 count is just slightly smaller than diamond painting, but you could do this as a diamond painting because you've got the colors and the symbols. You could just use a blank canvas and do that, but I think it works better, especially for something round like this where you don't have the edges to work, that this would work better as a cross stitch. And this would make a really nice throw or pillow, not throw pillow is what I was going for there. So the way this works, the ink is stamped on the canvas. Here you can see it pretty clearly. These colors that are stamped on there do not match the thread colors. It's meant for high contrast so that you can see the different areas. So for example, this blue here, this number 28, is actually this color. And that green, it looks like it's 24, which is actually this dark blue. So these colors do not reflect the thread colors, but that just makes it easier to see. Looks like a lot of easy background. This would be a fun one to do the foreground parts and then just kind of sit and watch TV and stitch the background to finish it off. But the ink will wash off. So when you complete your diamond painting, you have the instructions on that piece of paper that I put off to the side here. You soak it in warm water and maybe add just a tiny bit of detergent to it when you're done, and all that ink will wash away and you'll be left with just a canvas. So all these grid lines, everything will come off, which is pretty cool. So I don't do counted cross stitch anymore. I focus on stamped cross stitch because it's so much easier for me to do. But it is quite enjoyable for sitting on the couch or maybe working in the other room where I can chat with my hubby and catch up on the world and all that good stuff. So that's one of the more budget-friendly ones. You'll find Huacon, Yishu, and just no-name brand. Now, most people say to stay away from DIY brand. You see that a lot on Temu. Because they don't have very many colors and just pretty low quality on the thread and stuff. But that's up to you. If it's a picture you want, give it a try. Now the other thing I have, I probably won't go into detail on all of these because this is a set of 4. This is kind of 4 seasons almost, although it's hard to really pick seasons on these. But this is a set of 4 different floral patterns that kind of go together, and these are the Better Spring brand with the leaves on here and the green packaging that tells you they're a higher count. So these are 14 count instead of 10. Higher count means smaller squares, so it means the cross stitch is smaller. So I've got these because I have several big ones. Well, not several, but I have a few big ones I'm working on, and the smaller ones are just easier to hold on to and work when you're just not in the mood to deal with wearing a blanket while you stitch it, like my giant Pokemon one. So we'll take a closer look at one of these, and then maybe I'll do a quick opening of the others. These don't have a whole lot of colors, but this green means that they are indeed the higher count. These are 14 count, which also means you have the better Egyptian cotton in them, which is treated floss, and it does feel very different, and it does stitch differently, but it almost feels thinner, but it's just treated, and then when you wash it, some of that coating or protective coating comes off and the yarn gets all fluffy and soft. So it just makes it easier to stitch with. But look at those colors, lots of bright pinks and greens, a little bit of purple and yellow, and a little bit of red. So we're looking at 23 colors, and Spring brand doesn't come with the whole toolkit, but they do come with a pack here with needles, and Spring needles are really good. They are smoother and easier to push through the fabric, so you may want to collect all your Spring needles and keep them. I know people say that. I can't tell a whole lot of a difference in the different needles, but I take other people's word for it that have stitched for a lot longer than I do. So be sure to protect your Spring needles and keep them separate from the other ones. So we have lots and lots of pink on this one. And you get the same thing. You get the directions, and you get your cover paper here, and you get a chart, but they're a little bit different from the chart on the Spring brand. Usually the chart is closer to true color, or it's a different color than what you'll see on your canvas. And that means that you have two different symbols there for the same color. So the one here on the outside is what's printed on your canvas, and this kind of shows what's printed on your chart. So we have 14 colors of full stitch. This one has what are called half stitches here. So we have, looks like 6 half stitch. That just means you do half of the cross and don't do the other half. So it means it goes quicker because you're only doing half a stitch. It's done usually in the background here. So a lot of these more subtle shading around the outside, that's typically where the half stitch is. Then we have what's called mixed stitch here, and these are probably full stitches. Let me look at a symbol to see. Yes, like some of the dark here toward the middle of the flower. So these are full stitches, but you blend 2 colors together. So you'll put 1 strand of each color together and it makes a new color. So even though this shows 24 or 23 colors, some of these blends will make it look like there are even more colors on it. And then we do have 2 colors of back stitch, so you can see the lines on this, some of the highlighting on the flowers here, especially the roses. There's some back stitch lines through there. Now the Spring canvas does come protected in a plastic bag because you don't want to get it wet, because the ink will run and you won't be able to see your pattern. So let's see what a 14 count size looks like. So this is definitely small enough to be able to hold in your hand while you're stitching a little bit easier. I don't stitch with a hoop very often, especially the smaller ones. I do have a bigger one I'm working on that is in a frame, just because it's easier to manage the large size of the canvas in a frame. But what I do often is I will just roll this and just work in my hands. So canvas looks very clear here, very easy to see, but you can tell those are smaller squares. So this canvas is serged around the edges so it won't come unraveled, and it does have the Spring branding and the little tag on it, but you do have the codes and symbols here around the edges in a nice big font. So this symbol right there shows you which are half stitch, which are full stitch, and which are the blended ones down here across the bottom. So this looks very nice. We got our stitch count here, 145 by 135. And this will just warn you not to get your canvas wet till you're ready to wash it at the end. So very pretty. So that is how Spring brand works. And the best thing, or one of the many good things I should say, not necessarily the best thing, is that you have this resealable pouch so that you can take it wherever you go. Oops, I put that in backwards, but that's okay. So a nice self-contained pouch, as opposed to this more budget-friendly, which doesn't have a pouch. And I was curious. Okay, I forgot to check and tell you if the ends were serged or not. So yes, indeed. Serging is just stitching that's done around the edge a few rows in, just to make sure it doesn't fray as easily. Because if this is in your hands as you work on it for a while, you can start having trouble with fraying. So let's just take a quick peek at the rest of these now that you've kind of seen how Spring Brand works. So this one has 21 colors here. This one's more multicolored, so we have lots of yellows, some blues and purples, pinks, reds. Ooh, look at those pastel colors. And we'll look at the chart here. Let's see what we have for stitches. So we have, looks like 15 colors of full stitch. We have 8 colors of half stitch. That's again around the edges there to give it kind of that softer look. We only have 1 color of back stitch there, and that's it. So less back stitching on this one. I'm trying to look and see where the back stitch is hiding. It looks like maybe just teeny tiny bit of highlighting around where the base is, because I don't see it in any of the flowers. So there's a little bit of glare there. Let's look at it that way. So there is the picture, and yes, I'm trying to look and see. Really not much back stitch, just a little bit in there. I like back stitch. I think it's fun. I like to watch a picture come to life. So back stitching doesn't bother me, but I know it does bother some people. But to me, it's a lot of fun. Do we want to look at the canvas? Why not? And get rid of some of the packaging anyway. Let's see. Whew. This one is hiding where the edge is. There it is. I'll just take a quick peek. There we go. So you can see here the full and the half, and I don't see any blended or mixed stitches with this one. So just the full and the half cross, and very little back stitching. So this one might be just slightly easier overall than the other one. And you can see kind of the same idea as confetti versus color blocking and diamond painting. You get the same concepts with cross stitch, maybe a little bit of confetti-ish around the centers of the little flowers here where you'd start and stop, because you don't want to stretch your thread too far. So like this little one, that little flower, the center of that flower, you'd probably just want to do that stitch and then end your thread and then do that one and then do those rather than carrying the thread in the back, because that can make it pucker up and do other things. You don't want to stretch a thread across the back unless it's like 5 or 6 stitches at the most. What I do though, I do a little cheating. What I do is I secure it across the back through stitches that are already done. So I like to do the bigger areas, like I would do the yellow part of those flowers first and then do the middles and kind of snake it on the back through the other stitches. So that's a way you can cheat around that if you don't want to stop and start and stop and start. They call that a pin stitch when you do just one stitch and have to end it, because you're pinning the stitch the way you do the start and stop, which I should do a tutorial on that. You kind of pin the thread down with your stitch and then cut it off. So here's the next one here. We have 22 different colors of thread, and this is another one that's got a lot of pinks and reds there, as you can tell. So yes, definitely got all the pink colors here. Definitely can feel that this is the nice treated floss there. Lots of purples, a little bit of yellow. Very pretty colors. And we'll peek at the chart here. Full stitch, we have 17 colors. mixed stitch. This one does have some mixed stitch. And then here's the half stitch colors. Looks like 8 of those. And I don't see any back stitch. Nope, no back stitch on this one. So if you're looking for no back stitching, this would be the design to go for. And might as well. We'll take a quick look here. Let's see what we got. Oh, lots of blues showing up in that one. Of course, we know the picture isn't blue, just the ink that they use to print the different symbols there. So we got the mixed stitch down there, the full stitch, and the half stitch symbols. And one left, and it's probably closest to winter type colors if I had to give it a season. Although I don't think a season was really intended. This one also looks like 25 colors, and we got some mint colors and more blues in this one, and also some purples. So it gives me kind of a feeling of cold when I see all those purples and blues and whites in there. So we'll take a quick peek here at the pattern, and it looks like 20 colors of full stitch, lots of half stitches there. Usually I can eyeball and count it real quick. That looks like 10. And this one does have some back stitch and 1 color of mixed stitch there. So the back stitch you can see in the flowers there, these little black lines on the chart. So this one does have not too much. There's some in the flowers, that's about it, and through the vase. So just a little bit of back stitch, but definitely lots of half stitch, which does make it go a little quicker. Guess I should let you guys see a close-up of the picture there. So this one is kind of the purples and blues are in the background, but the flowers are mostly those gray kind of winter look to them with the yellows. Let's see. So we're getting near the end here. So there we go. This one has a big border around it because I guess it was near the edge of the fabric. So this one has a lot of extra there. They didn't bother cutting it off. They just went ahead and serged at the very edge there. So this one definitely has a lot of extra. And that's important if you're thinking about putting them in a frame or a hoop, because the more extra you have, the more you can cover that area in the frame so that all your stitching area is reachable to you from inside rather than being around the edges, wrapped around the edge of the hoop. So the more border, the better. So this one has a bonus there with the extra border, but it looks very clear, very easy to see. This looks like a pretty easy stitch because you got large areas. You don't have those little tiny flower centers sprinkled all over. So this one looks easy. So we have the full stitch there, the half stitch here, and then the one blend right down there. So everything visible right there on the canvas. So that's our last one of this set. And that's what I have for you tonight. What have I got planned for the week, in the next couple weeks? Well, I do have my next one from Jaded Gem Shop coming in, and that is the red poppies that I had already finished from Diamond Art Club. I haven't shown you the finish on that one. You've seen it close to being finished, but I thought I'd wait and kind of do a comparison with that one versus what Jaded Gem Shop has to offer. Jaded Gem Shop does a little more computer rendering, and so there's a little bit more confetti, but I think that works better for old masters type art to let all the colors kind of come through. So we'll see how that goes. And what else do I have coming up? This weekend I will be busy doing some work stuff, and I will be out of town for a day because if you live in West Texas, you may have heard of the Brady Goat Cook-Off. It's a big deal out here. It's an annual event where people come from all over. It's a cooking contest, barbecue contest, with goat meat as well as other meats and other things. I think there's like a margarita championship and other things like that. It's a cooking, outdoor barbecuing contest, but sheep and goats are very popular out here because we're a bit on the dry side. We do have some cattle around here. We grow some cotton out here, but sheep and goats are big industry out here. So the Brady Goat Cook-Off is an annual event, kind of ending the summer, start of the school year, and you spend all day getting to sample and buy plates of goat meat, and they do the contest for the best barbecue, and there's usually a nighttime concert and all that. But part of the deal that I will be doing is I will be working for part of the day out there. When there are large gatherings of people, sometimes we go out there and do what we call deploy and watch the weather and feed weather information to the emergency managers and all that out at these big gatherings of people outdoors, because that's probably where people are most vulnerable, is when they're at outdoor concerts, cook-offs, all that sort of thing, when a storm can come up and wreak havoc. So we deploy sometimes for these bigger events that are full of people so that we can watch the weather and give information directly to the emergency managers and law enforcement to keep people safe. So I'll be doing that for part of it, but then I'll also be enjoying the goat cook-off after I'm off the clock, so to speak. So I will be gone for part of the weekend, so I may not have quite as much content coming up this week. But my containers for kitting up my other Josephine wall should be here tomorrow. So I'll be doing a kitting up of that, probably not on video, we'll see. And I will start that one because I've been in a confetti mood, which is why I did the other one today, but I'll be pulling the J-walls back out and working on those probably for the bulk of the week, and maybe taking one with me to Brady because I'm going to go up there the night before because I have to be out there at 6 a.m. So I don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. and have to drive out there. It's it's about a little over an hour drive from here. So I will be staying in a hotel Friday night so I can at least get some sleep before I do all that Saturday. So I will be a bit unavailable, but I'll also make sure that I have some sort of content up for you all. And I thank you for watching, and I thank all the support. Please let me know if there are more things you want me to explain in the comments. And I do thank again Artdot for those of you that have stuck around to the end. And I will be testing this out tonight, especially with 14 count cross stitch. That's why I'm excited about these, so I can see how well they work for both cross stitch and diamond painting, and hopefully see a lot better. So thanks for watching. I'll be back later.